Over the last 12 months, the internet, in all of its infinite wisdom, has given rise to a new, unique genre of content. Originating from, you guessed it, Japan, the very first virtual YouTuber, or VTuber for short, actually debuted some time ago back in late 2016. But it wasn't until the early 2020s that VTubing really started to take off. Big VTubing companies dedicated to spreading the glorious gospel of the almighty VTubers blasted the year off by machine gunning out new virtual YouTubers seemingly every single month of 2020, totaling over 50 virtual idols you can pick from to sim for as it stands today. One reason for this corporate rush to mass-produce virtual content is simply because the format just works. And when I say it just works, what I really mean is it makes a crap ton of money. As of February 2021, 8 of the 10 most super chatted channels on YouTube are of course VTubers, with the top 5 VTubers earning well over $1 million each since their debut, which for most of them was less than a year ago. And thanks to the recent release of hololive English, the influence of this mind-bending trend is quickly spreading westward, with its most prominent shark amassing 1 million YouTube subscribers in only a mere 2 months. A feat that the majority of YouTubers can't even dream of replicating. But you probably knew that already. So what we're going to be talking about instead is the 3 reasons why these virtual YouTubers are so insanely popular, and why so many unsuspecting weebs fall into this hole of simping for virtual girls that I can't seem to get out of. Alright, in just a second, we're gonna get into all that good stuff. But if you enjoyed the video so far, I'd like to humbly ask you to please smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It tremendously helps me out, especially since I'm such a small channel. And with that being said, let's get on with the video. So, through my countless hours of research, I managed to boil down what I believe to be the very essence of VTuber popularity into 3 factors. Let's start with... Okay, hear me out guys. Where else on the internet can you possibly hope to find such sophisticated, premium quality content? I mean, who can really fault us for falling for the charm of instant classics like the shitposting dog, the shitposting dragon, and the X-rated sailor that's apparently always ready to bone. So yeah, pretty much a genre based entirely off of shitposting. Look, shitposting is fun. It's already fun when internet trolls do it, but the fun factor gets multiplied through the roof when cute anime girls start doing it too. And this is because this kind of content is novel, which means that it hasn't really been done before, and now has a broad audience appeal thanks to the improved aesthetics of the people doing the shitposting. Sorry boys, we just can't expect to compete with cute 2D anime girls. But it's not just the cute shitposting that draws us in. Watching a VTuber is also a completely new experience that most of us have not had before. The closest thing we have to the genre is IRL live streaming, and it's a great form of content, don't get me wrong, but it has its limitations. Most notably is that we know that the person on the other side of the screen is, well, a real person. So when we watch them do dumb things or overreact to get attention, we understand why they do it, but at the same time, we can't help but feel a little off-put by this quote-unquote performance, at least in my experience. But with VTubers, we're armed right from the start with the explicit knowledge that the girls behind the avatars are playing a character that doesn't really exist. This means that when VTubers completely overreact to things, it ends up not being off-putting in the same way it would be if a live-action streamer did it. You don't care that the VTubers are putting on an act, because, well, that's what they're supposed to do. You know that they're playing a character. That being said, the VTubers also manage to walk the fine line between being too real and being too unreal. What I mean by this is that these walking, talking 2D digital avatars of anime girls are surprisingly relatable. Despite our explicit knowledge that they're playing a character for the stream, their human sides do slip out from time to time, which paradoxically also creates a very genuine and pure experience for the audience, in addition to the coke-fueled chaos that we're all subscribed for. Speaking of which, could you, just tap the, yeah. Okay, thanks. Anyway, as I was saying, this perfectly concocted mixture of reality and unreality makes watching VTubers really easy to get into and engage with. If I had to choose one word to describe it for those of you who haven't yet been indoctrinated into the cult, it would be casual. It gives off the same vibe as waking up to watch Saturday morning cartoons. Just a very pure, funny, and chilled experience. Well, for at least some of them. Alright, let's move on to our second factor for the recent meteoric rise of VTuber popularity. And that's because VTubers, unlike any other kind of live streamer, can provide... Okay, so there's nothing really new with idolization. In fact, it's been going on for way longer than VTubers have been around. In 1992, the very first generation of K-pop idols emerged out of Korea, paving the way to the widespread practice of idol worship that we see in the West today. The East, and by the East I mean Japan, was as usual a few steps ahead here, with its first generation of idols already hitting the stage in the 1930s. But if we take a time machine all the way back to the year 0, we already find evidence for the rise of the very first mega idol, whose legacy spans the course of thousands of years and shows no signs of letting up. But these idols all have a common problem, which causes the majority of their followers, not you K-pop stans, from forming a strong enough bond with them to inspire devout connection. And that problem is, they don't talk back. You don't really get to interact with these idols. Sure, there's meet and greets, fan letters, and the like, but it's all rather detached. The exact problem live streamers don't have. You see, live streamers are constantly interacting with their chat. This digitally symbiotic relationship that streamers have with their audience is the lifeblood of the entertainment format. And it works. The audience feels included and has easy access to the streamer's attention. And while any one person might be ignored at any given time, they'd still find camaraderie and be interacted with as part of the digital mob that the streamers endearingly call chat. And that's good enough for most people. But live streaming on its own can't usually inspire devout connection either. Not you, Megasims. Simply because, well, the streamers are real people. They have flaws and imperfections, which are bound to be made apparent over the course of their long hours of streaming. And as a result, they can't be worshipped the same way idols can. And that brings us finally to VTubers. The perfect marriage between infallible idol and relatable person. VTubers have no visible human flaws. They don't have bad hair days, bad makeup days, or bad angles. These digital avatars were painstakingly engineered by large teams of people to be the objects of our attention and affection. At the same time, they're also relatable. There's a real human piloting the avatar behind the scenes, and it does show from time to time, which has a very charming effect that captures the hearts of its viewers strongly. VTubers also talk back, and that's huge. Because you as the viewer have the means to easily interact with them and be interacted with, you can more easily form a bond with your favorite virtual idol. And as a result, slowly simp away your entire life savings for your 2D waifu overlord. Alright, now, there's a third factor that I think helped fuel the massive VTuber hype train that I want to talk about. But this one is less fun and more sad. The final reason that I think VTubers, specifically female VTubers, are on the rise is because they can provide So it's no secret that the overwhelming majority of people who watch VTubers are male. Sure, you can make the argument that YouTube, the primary platform VTubers use to broadcast their content, itself is primarily male-dominated, and therefore, men tend to make up a greater percentage of any given viewer base. But not to this degree. And although we don't have the exact figures, there is some evidence to suggest that many, but not all, female VTubers enjoy an almost exclusively male viewership. So the question is, why are female VTubers so popular with men? It's for sure not the same reason why female Twitch streamers are so popular. I personally think that female VTubers are so popular because they fill an expanding niche for female entertainment geared towards disenfranchised men. Now, I'm not saying that this is specifically your reason for watching VTubers. Most of us are in it just for the kawaii shitposting. But it could be for a certain group of men. Namely, those who've experienced nothing but bullying, ridicule, and rejection at the hands of IRL women. You see, you tend to dislike what doesn't like you back. And if you get rejected by every girl you've ever had a crush on, then you're probably gonna get a little bit salty towards the female population. That is, the live action female population. And that's where VTubers come in. Female VTubers could transcend real women in the sense that these disenfranchised men don't see them as objects to channel their endless reserves of sodium chloride towards. They're in a whole other category of their own. In the eyes of these men, VTubers aren't flawed and mean like other girls, but perfect, innocent, and non-threatening. The latter part being very important, because if these guys get bullied or rejected by these virtual idols, which they do, it doesn't hurt the same way a rejection would in real life because, well, VTubers aren't real life. VTubers don't exist. And it's not really simping if she doesn't exist, as a wise man once said. That's it for this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you like the content, please be sure to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really helps a small creator like me out. And I'll see you guys next time.